Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Guns and Cameras, Season 2, Episode... What? What, guy? What do you want?
What you got going on over here? What are you doing?
Shooting an episode of Guns and Cameras.
Oh, that's cool. Cool. Can I join?
Yeah, okay, sure. Why not?
Let's go.
Let's start the intro.
Sure.
Guys, welcome to Guns and Cameras. It is a very special episode because, as you guys know, it is Season 2, Episode 1. That's right, we're back at it again, kicking off a whole new season with incredible guests, incredible stories, and I cannot wait to share them with you. So, without any further ado...
Shooters.
Hey.
Are you ready? Stand by.
It's my line.
Sorry, I was excited.
So what's your name anyway?
Evan Fitzpatrick.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Guns and Cameras podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Best, and today we have with us yet another very special guest. This man is a law enforcement officer based out of South Florida. Started that in 2013. In 2019, he picked up his first camera and started a career in tactical, fitness, and product photography. I don't know if you've seen this man's work before or not, but if you haven't, you're going to hear about it today. We have with us Mr. Kevin Schmertzler. Kevin, thanks for being on the podcast. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Josh, thank you so much for having me on, man. This has been awesome, dude. Pretty much born and raised in South Florida. I got into, law enforcement in 2013. I work in a city right next to Fort Lauderdale. Been doing that for the past 12 years now, and 2019 I got hooked on photography following my aunt's account. She's a wildlife photographer based out of Arizona. Her work goes all the way from Africa to Antarctica to wherever there's weird exotic animals she's gonna photograph. So I got the bug from her, picked up a Nikon, and my buddy Matt Casey with Triad Medical, the hat I'm wearing right here, he invited me out to one of his classes after I take it and a couple of his TACMed courses and said, hey, bring your camera, see what we can do. And from there, surprisingly, some people liked my photography and they kept asking me to come back. Other companies reached out, and then I upgraded to a Sony camera, and then the images became way more enhanced, and I just started really honing in on the skills there. So here I am now.
All right, that's awesome. Talk to us a little bit about the law enforcement side of things. So had you always wanted to be involved in LEO, and if yes, how and when did that dream start?
It's funny. Everybody asks. I had a weird kind of a weird breakup in like 2007 to 2000. Weird breakup in 2007 landed me in Orlando. Where I was in a bar, and I was actually, complaining to the bartender about, my failed relationship, how my now ex-girlfriend's up in a different college doing doing crazy, stuff up in college, and a firefighter who just got off shift was talking to me, or happened to be sitting next to me, and he goes, hey, it sounds like your ex-girlfriend's out there curing cancer. And I'm like, no, if you didn't hear the last 2 hours of my struggles, she's out there doing this, she's doing that. He's like, dude, I'm just trying to explain to you, man, if there's better things out there. And I actually got into EMT and paramedic training up there, and I did the EMT school, moved back down to South Florida, did the paramedic school, and somewhere in between there I was working at the front desk at a gym, and a buddy of mine who's a canine officer for Fort Lauderdale saw me studying my books and goes, hey, listen, I know this is a shot in the dark, but for the first time in a long time, Fort Lauderdale PD is hiring. And, you might want to put your name in the hat. You never know what can happen, and they'll pay for your academy. You don't have to worry about, working your way through school anymore. And so I did a couple ride-alongs, and as soon as I finished paramedic school, I found myself in the police academy in 2012, self-sponsored. The Fort Lauderdale thing didn't work. However, 6 months after the academy, I ended up finding myself a job. So here I am now. It's been a long, weird, twist and turny journey.
Isn't that the way it goes sometimes, though?
Yeah, super weird. Never
But
would have thought myself would have been a police officer when I was younger, but here I am now.
yeah, and how do you feel? Like, how's it been going? You enjoying it? Has it been good?
Yes, I mean we've had some bumpy rides, especially the whole 2020 stuff. That was really bumpy down here, but no, working in Florida is kind of way different than you can say working in on the West Coast or something like that. We still have a lot of support from the community, and we still the community still supports us in a fantastic way. The city I work for, especially some of the NYPD guys that I train that come here from NYPD. People will be flagging us down, and my poor trainee be like, "Oh my God, what do they want?" We'll roll, like thinking like the worst, like they're gonna flick them off or something. He rolls the window. They're like, "Hey, I just want to say thank you for your service. We love you guys." And he's like, "Am I on an episode of Punk'd or something? Is Ashton Kutcher gonna come out of the woodworks and say, hey, you guys suck?" But no, it's been a really cool experience, and I'm hoping to do 8 more years. That'll put me at 20. And then from there, I can either hopefully continue with this photography life, or I don't know, see where the next 8 years takes me.
Right on. So let's kind of dive into the photography a little bit. So you said you were inspired to pick up a camera by your aunt, who is a wildlife photographer out of Arizona. What kind of triggered that? Did you guys get together, and did she kind of hand it off to you, or what kind of inspired you at that point to then buy a camera and start shooting stuff?
I always wanted like a creative outlet. Even just being young, I always like I just wanted something that I could call mine, I guess you can say, and have like my own little brand or whatever. And when I went up to Arizona in 2018, and she was photographing these wild horses over in the I can't remember the exact area. It was just outside of Phoenix, and she's like, "Yeah, I just got word that there's going to be a bunch of wild horses." I don't know how she was on some wild horse group chat, and they're like, "Hey, it shows them they're going to be passing through at this time, so I'm going to come. I'm going to bring a camera, and yeah, you're more than welcome to come unless you want to hang out with your Uncle Eric and do nothing." So I go, yeah, I tagged along. She got out this. She's a Nikon person, still is. She got out this really fancy Nikon Z camera with this, looked like the lens cost more than my house, and this wild horse walked right past her, and she clicked the shutter, and I remember like that night going in her office watching her upload the pictures, and I'm like, "Dude, that's not the picture that you there's no way it looks that nice, like like that is like you need to sell this, like this is really cool." And so she explained to me, she's like, "Yeah, actually all these pictures back here, I taken them." I'm like, "So that elephant picture with the old rustic looking tusks, you did that in Africa?" She's like, "Yeah, did that with this lens right here. I was a couple 100 feet away, and yeah, I edited it with this program, and I fell in love." I was like, that's so cool. And actually her friend Gus, who was learning from her, gifted me actually an Olympus camera, I believe it's called. A very old, not a good camera, but it started. I brought that to a couple places, like in the Miami Beach area. I got some decent cool shots with that, and then hopped on the Nikon train, and then I hopped on. Now I'm on the Sony kick for a while, hopefully, until I buy my next camera. But that's pretty much how it all started.
Yeah, that's why that's why I love photography as a creative outlet. I think that it's that process of being able to one, snap a moment in time and then turn it into a piece of art on the back end it's pretty addicting. I'm not gonna lie.
I agree.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So you got a camera, you started shooting. Once you got that Nikon, what was the first kind of stuff you started trying to capture?
I always liked street photography, and I still do. I think that is besides, like, I get paid for the tactical fitness stuff more than I get, but the street stuff, like if I take my camera and I go to like a city that I've never been to, like we went to Tampa Bay for the Metallica concert last week, and I walked around the downtown area. There was hundreds of things that I'm like, man, this can be a good photograph right here. Whether it's like the leading lines or the symmetry in the buildings, or something I learned from a photographer goes by trash hand. If you just look up at the building, you miss the architectural design up there, and you can get some good shots. So I started doing in this Fort Lauderdale, the downtown Fort Lauderdale area. I started walking around. Just my schedule's weird. I don't work till 3 p.m. and I'm off sometimes on weird days like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So on a day where the city is just waking up, I think it's awesome to go by and bring your camera and just take some cool shots of whatever's going on in the city. And that's what I did with the Olympus. It was I couldn't. It was a single lens, so I didn't have to worry about changing out lenses. And I think the lowest f-stop was like a 5.6 or something. So it was nothing my cell phone couldn't take, but it was just cool to like get like the the exposure triangle stuff, like practicing with that. And so that's pretty much what I was doing with that camera in the beginning.
That's awesome. What were you, so as soon as you had that camera and you started working with it, where were you drawing your inspiration from? Were you just kind of learning on your own, or were you using YouTube University, or what was, where were you kind of being inspired by when you first started out?
So a good friend of mine from high school, he goes by River Davis. This guy reached out to me one day. He's like, listen, if you want to get into photography, you got to follow this guy. And I'm sure everybody's heard of him. His name is Peter McKinnon. The guy's a legend.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was about him, whether it was like his look. We're into similar stuff. I started watching his early stuff from like 2019. I think it was like 2018, maybe even 2016, 2017, where he goes over the exposure triangle. And I really started honing in on him, and then I just realized I'm like, I can't replicate this guy. I'm not going to. Everybody has their own style. And then he had a guy on the show called Short Stash. Guy goes by Short Stash. His name is Garrett King. Was based out of LA. Now he's up in New York, and I started loving his very dark and moody look to his photography. And I was like, you know what? And I've actually reached out to him a few times and said, hey man, this stuff is really cool. And he actually reached back and was like, hey, this is why I do it, this and that. And he had some really cool skateboarding photography that I thought was really cool up in Muscle Beach. And he got a really good shot of just a silhouette of a skateboarder doing some kind of really cool trick. And so I started learning just based off of him, his stuff. And then I got on Udemy, I think it's called, and did the basic class during COVID. When everything was shut down, I had so much free time in my hand in between, being off. There was nothing was open, so I opened up Udemy. I finished that class, and I kind of just, took some advice from all three of them, and here I am now.
That's awesome. So, talk to me about the jump from Nikon to Sony. What was what motivated that?
I was in Norway for my birthday 2 years ago, and I had the Nikon with me, and I think I had a 50 millimeter, like a nifty 50 lens I bought. It was dirt cheap, and I was like, I want to bring this out everywhere when we go up to Norway. And I don't know what it was. I had a specific look in mind that I wanted to get in Oslo, which was like a very, busy city in Norway. It's like if the Vikings settled there. It's kind of weird, but it's a cool city. And I wanted to get, and I was like, nah, the colors are just not coming out the way I want it. I'm sick of burning these images in Lightroom and making them into something they're not. I'd rather get it in camera. And somebody recommended, they were like, dude, you might want to switch over to Sony based on what your style is. I think you might like it. It's a little bit more expensive, but you've been on this amateur Nikon kick for a couple years now. I think it's time for you to move on. And I found a deal online while I was in Norway, and I clicked the button. May have had a few drinks in me. I was more confident. I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And I ended up just buying like an off-brand Tamron or Sigma lens. It came in when I got home, and I was like, you know what, the next trip I go on, or actually no, I used it for the first time at a tried medical class, Matt Casey's course, another TACMED class, and I showed him the back of the camera, a picture of him shooting. I'm like, dude, I was like, the image quality on this is fantastic. I'm like, I feel like I don't have to edit as much. And he's like, dude, he's like, dude, that's a great shot. And going from like a DSLR to a mirrorless, like what you see is what you get in the back of the camera. You almost feel like you're cheating, like with the camera, but the image quality, like I love it. I don't see myself changing anytime soon.
Yeah, tough to beat. Which one was it? Was it what model of Sony? I'm just curious.
A7R3. I still have it today. That's the only one I use, with just various lenses. And I did some research. I don't do video yet. That's something I haven't honed on, and I'm a little nervous to try it. Eventually, I will, but because everybody keeps asking me for it. But they still like the A7R4 and 5. That's better for video. I could be wrong, but the 3 has been, for a camera. I think that came out like 2018, maybe. It holds pretty good. The image quality's great. It's a very fast camera, and I just, I just bought off of a photographer friend of mine I think I keep pronouncing it wrong, a Leica Q.
Leica, yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted one of. I bought one of those just so I'm like, you know what? When I go on vacation, instead of putting all my lenses in a bag and all this stuff like that, I'm gonna bring the Leica. And it's a one lens, and that'll be good for street photography. But when I'm out on the range, or I'm out with, especially some of the Broward Sheriff SWAT guys, taking pictures with them, I want that long lens where I can be a ways away from them and still get very compressed shots, of them doing their thing and not have to be in their way, and let them operate, I guess you can say.
Yeah, no, dude, I've always wanted a Leica. I think if I'm gonna buy another camera soon, I think I'd like to pick up one of those, just because it's the color science that they use in those cameras that I think I want. I think it would jive well with my style. But this A7R III, dude, like my first Sony was an A7 III, and I shot video on that thing for years.
Oh, nice.
And so yeah, I would start shooting video on that thing. I mean, there's like some of the other Sony cameras, like again, I run the FX3s for video, and those are great.
Yeah.
But if you're just starting out for wanting to shoot good video, if it can do overcranked 4K or even overcranked 1080p, like 60 frames, 1080, then that's really all you need. 24 frames a second 4K, 60 frames a second 4K. That's like plenty to be able to do a lot out of that camera. So.
One day, man, it's on the list. I literally have it on my calendar every month. Hey, learn video, and then I'll go to these classes and I'll bring it. I'm like, maybe today's the day. I'm gonna get a really cool video shot. And I kind of chicken out. I'm like, I'm gonna stick to stills. But I have had people like, hey man, you do video, and I'm like, no, just stills. And like, all right, thanks. Hit me up when you do video. So I know. Eventually, I think that is going to be. I got some really cool ideas that I want to do, and I think video will be the next project that I tackle.
Dude, yeah, you should take it on. I mean, here I'll give you a real quick like basic framework for where I recommend people start with video, if you care to know it.
Of course.
Work your way. So set the camera on a tripod, right? Lock it down. Roll for 15 seconds super wide on your scene, right?
Okay.
If you have a zoom lens, you punch into like a medium, and then you run for another 15 seconds on your subject. Or if you don't have a zoom lens, you can walk the tripod up, but keep it locked down on the same scene, right? So ultra wide, medium wide, and then punch in super tight on the last scene, right? Run for 10 to 15 seconds, and then while you're in tight, that's when you can take it off the tripod and maybe get some handheld details really tight of your subject, and then you walk it back. So then you go back to your medium, 10 to 15 seconds, back to super wide, 10 to 15 seconds at the end of your scene, and then right there you have everything you need compositionally to build drama and intensity in the video, and you'll have at least 15 seconds of action happening in your sequence, to be able to cut around, and then you can do quite a bit with that. So if that's your framework, so super wide, medium, tight, back to medium, back to super wide, hold for at least 15 seconds on each of those shots, and then you got a
Yeah.
video. That's all you gotta do.
I
Easy.
think, you know what? My next class is on the 28th in Miami. I think I'm going to try that out. Hopefully,
Yeah,
let's see what happens, man. I'm excited. That's
yeah,
awesome.
no, I think you'll crush it. I mean, it's super cool that you have access to all the, the SWAT guys and the tactical side of things. So let's talk about how that started happening. So you got a camera now, you're doing lifestyle street photography, you're getting hooked on that. When was the first opportunity that you had to be like, did somebody, one of your buddies say, "Yo, bring your camera," like you said earlier? Take us
Yeah.
through that that experience, the first time shooting something in the tactical community.
Well, again, Tri Medical. I met Matt Casey, who's the head instructor. He was a Hollandale SWAT medic. He was just on the Anti-Hero podcast, actually talking about the incident that happened at Douglas. And I always value this guy, tremendous in the tactical industry. And I've taken I think two or three of his TACMED classes, which I think is fantastic because most police officers are not going to get tactical medicine training. They might get like a day of it in their in-house, but they're not going to. It's very humbling when you go to your first like a very dangerous call, and all of a sudden you realize like, hey, I have no medical experience. I got to wait for the real heroes to show up. So he told me about he's like, hey, I'm going to do a live fire TACMED course. He's like, dude, bring your camera. Let's see what happens. And I did. I brought the camera, started taking pictures, and I think some of the pictures came out so blown out. Some of them came out really, really dark. But one of them particularly was a guy. I think he was an FWC officer. He ran out of the vehicle with his gun, with his rifle up in the air, and I got a really good shot of him. Like a motion blur shot somehow of him doing it. And I edited it and I sent it out, and they were like, dude, you got to come back the next time. And then as I kept on coming out, I found my exposure for that area. And we use the same range in Homestead every time. We're very fortunate down here. We have a thing called Homestead Training Center, and a bunch of different individual bays. You can do whatever you want there as long as you're following the rules and you're not doing anything stupid. But I found my exposure there, and we just started really honing in on the next couple classes. I started getting a lot better at exposure, better at finding my composition, which was hugely important. And here I am now. It's been a couple years, and I'm still learning, man. I learn every day from other photographers or just mistakes that I've made, or for the first time in a long time, I branched out. I did food photography, and unfortunately, the client didn't like what I did. And I thought I did a really good job. However, they explained to me little details that they needed for the food, and I realized, hey, now I know for next time when I go back and reshoot this week that this is what I'm looking for composition-wise. So, I'm always learning in this profession.
Yeah, food is tough. I shot food for a long time, and it's not my favorite thing to shoot, just because of some of the challenges, right? Because people's expectations are set very high for what they want their food to look like, especially the restaurants, right? And sometimes it's like there's a lot of tips and tricks that go into making food look good. If you guys are curious about it, go to YouTube, watch it, because some of the crazy stuff that we've had to do. I mean, like, syrup does not look syrupy on camera, so like people have used motor oil to make it, because it's thicker. So or Elmer's glue for milk and cereal. I mean, it's like it gets crazy for propping and using food stuff. But
I had no idea about this.
Yeah, man, go check it out. It's crazy, some of the shenanigans that we've had to do. Like, what is it? We've used starch and all kinds of other things when we were shooting food to make it look like appetizing, but totally not edible. Stacking burgers with like, we would stack like little balsa wood sheets in between layers on hamburgers to try to pump it up. And but the thing is like that's like for the big food stuff, right?
Yeah.
So restaurants see that and they think, oh, that's what I want my food to look like. But in reality, it's like the plate comes out and it's kind of like, wah wah. How am I going to make this bowl of I'm going to make this look appetizing, and it can be challenging.
Especially with poor lighting like this restaurant had. And, again, for the first time, I told my friend who she's the one that helped me get the gig. I'm like, hey, I think I did a pretty good job on this. I mirrored some of the stuff off of another restaurant. She's like, yeah, for your first time, you did really, really good. And then I guess they're like, no, it was a breakfast thing, and I noticed eggs for some reason in pictures, they just look really, really bad, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the trick is for that, and I'm going to tell them when I come back, like, listen, man, we'll try, but unless you want to spend some money on some props, we're gonna have to make this look, as good as we can, And the food is really good. I mean, yeah, it's a really good restaurant, but can't make it look. Well, you can't make it look what it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I don't like shooting food. I like eating
Yeah,
it.
me
I
neither.
don't like shooting it. Not my favorite thing. But
Agreed.
it's a good thing to learn. It's good to learn. Like, that's the thing. You got to be a yes man with the camera, right? When you're first starting out, or even if you're down the road, it's like take on new challenges, get outside your comfort zone, because you will learn something while you're shooting that food that you'll use somewhere else down the road. But it doesn't mean you have to like it in the meantime.
Agreed.
So, we're bringing it to present day. What are some of your goals? What's your ambition with the photography side? You said you're working towards 20 years on the LEO side, but where do you see yourself going with the photo stuff in the next 5 to 10?
I would like to definitely stay in the tactile industry, just because that's just something that I feel like I'm really, really good at, picture-wise. But I would love to do like brand work or like product work. Like I love, I was in retail for a long time, so I would like to do something with that, like with retail brands, like some stuff with clothing, and whether it's tactical or not, I would like to do like lookbooks or something like that. I also I try to create like a monthly sticker every month. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's free advertising. I got to pay for a lot of it, but I like to take some stuff out of pop culture and turn it into like a sticker, and so I would like to brand, maybe make more, like maybe make one of my own brands or something like that. Like maybe mix like the photography with like a T-shirt, kind of like what a photographer up in Arizona does. He shoots officers doing really cool stuff, and then he'll make a T-shirt out of it. And I think that's really, really cool. In fact, I'm actually wearing one of his shirts, Dark Horse Fine Art. But
yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I want to do. I would like to brand it out, But as I've learned, not everybody has like the same love for like pop culture as I do. Like I did one for the movie Jaws, and I did like the scene where the shark jumps on the boat, and the guy's like, oh, we're gonna need a bigger boat. I said, hey, we're gonna need a bigger lens. And some people are like, hey, that's really, really cool. Then there was like some of like the younger generations, like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Dude.
Like, yeah, they're like, I've never seen that movie, and quite frankly, I don't want to. I'm like, oh god, I'm too old for this world now.
Yo, dude, that pop culture disconnect is real right now.
Oh
That's
god.
How old are you, Kevin?
I'm 37.
All right, so I'm 36, so we're pretty close, and I struggle with that at the same time. I was working at Stopbox not too long ago, and I was talking to some of the guys that were working cameras down there, and I was like, have you guys seen this movie? Like making movie references that in our generation would have been like right away, you know exactly where it's at. And they all looked at me with blank faces like, I don't get it, man. I'm like, oh, well, if you haven't watched this movie, go watch it. And they're like, yeah, well, whatever, man. I'm like,
I love seeing like some of the kids like walk around with the Wu-Tang shirts, or like they'll have like a Nirvana shirt that they bought at like Aeropostale or Abercrombie. They have no idea who they are. And or like some of like the movie references, like I don't know. Let me think of like the movie A Bronx Tale, with like Robert De Niro. You ever seen it with how he's like there's so much like little like references and like quotes, and like even like Goodfellas quotes, and some of like the guys, because me being a field training officer, like now that I've been on this job almost 13 years, these kids are like. They were like in middle school when I went to the academy. So like they have no idea what I'm talking about when I'm like saying like Utah, give me 2, or just like stuff like just basic like I don't know, like it's making me. I think this year I realized how old I was, but it's all good. I still got some really cool ideas for some stickers, and whether people buy it or not, they're always fun to make. And eventually, like if I'm in a different city, I'll slap it on a nice little like a nice little like a door I see like in like a really cool area. So hopefully just one person will go to my website. We'll see.
Dude, keep going. I'll go to your website. I'll buy a sticker. I like stickers.
I appreciate that, man.
That's why it's one of the big draws for SHOT Shows. You go for the patches and the slaps, man. That's what you come back with a bunch of new ones.
That's my goal for next year, man. I would love for a brand to take me out to SHOT Show and just use me as their photographer. My buddy Ruben from Paradox Training, he goes every year. He's like, one day he's like, I got to get you a media pass next time, man. And I would love to go out there and just to network, man. Everybody seems so cool. So,
dude, the elusive media pass for SHOT Show. Let me tell you, that thing is hard to get. SHOT Show does not screw around with media badges. I've gone for the last 3 years, and every single year I've had to be attached to a brand as an to get an exhibitor badge just to go, right? Like to be media, you have to have either not to discourage you, but if you do go, you'll probably tell your buddy he has to get you an exhibitor badge under whatever his like industry is to go.
Yeah.
But even then, like as an exhibitor, you're limited on what you can do with the camera. So you could shoot the guy that you're going with. Like if he brings you down to take pictures of what he's doing at the show, you can do that. But man, strict rules. Freaking media badges, man, hard to get for SHOT Show. But
yeah, I tried doing it recently. I wanted to get, I don't know if you ever shot like, concert photography or, I'm a huge, rock fan. I've been a rock fan since I was in the 4th grade. And again, being in Florida, we have multiple places like Revolution Live and the amphitheater. And I tried getting, my girlfriend's a huge Falling in Reverse fan, and she loves that band. And I got tickets to see the concert. I was like, I'm gonna try something, man. And I reached out to both the venue and the band itself, and I got denied. They're like, hey, sorry, due to high qualities and people that have actually done this, we're gonna have to deny your media pass. I'm like, so maybe I have to start off with like a tribute band and work my way up one day. That would be cool to get into that the concert stuff,
Yeah, I started. I shot with a local Christian rock band out of Spokane.
Cool.
This was when I was younger, and so I traveled with them. We went to a couple of big shows, big festivals all over on the West Coast, which was fun. Yeah, it's shooting. It kind of ruins concerts for you. It's super fun though, being backstage because you get to hang out in the green rooms and stuff with some of these bands. And, it's a good time. But yeah, it is. Again, it's tough to get the access, right?
Sure.
Because so many people are asking for the same thing, right? And concerts and music is like I talked to a gal who was shooting music for a long time, and she's like, yeah, the thing about she was working for one of the casinos and their concert venues out here in Spokane.
Yeah.
And she was like, the thing about the artists is that you have licensing rights for each one of these different bands. And so if you're shooting a festival, you have to be really careful and conscientious of the licensing agreement that the venue has with the band while they're playing the show. Because like some artists are like, you can't shoot me, only my photographer can shoot me. And so if you're working in around all these different celebrities and their likeness is their brand.
Yeah.
And they're very, very particular at controlling how that's used and who gets the opportunity to shoot it, which is I always thought was funny because I mean we live in the world of social media these days. So you got 10,000 people out there with cell phones taking videos and nobody cares. But if you're a photographer there with a long lens,
everybody wants to care about it. Yeah, maybe we'll see, man.
Yeah,
we'll see where this journey takes me.
Yeah, dude. That's the thing is I tell people I'm like the worst they can say is no. If you start asking, you never know. Like just reach out, use Instagram, use those social media channels and reach out and be like, hey, I'm a photographer. I'm in the area, want to go to your show, love your work, would love to shoot with you, and you never know, they might get back to you and say, yeah, let's go. Like
I
agree. If you don't ask, it won't happen. So
I
gotta reach out.
100% agree with you on that, man. If you don't, and that's one thing I learned with this hobby profession is if you don't ask, you're not going to know, and you never know, man. I've had plenty of people say, yeah, man, please bring your camera, 100,000%, bring it. And I met some really cool people in network, so yeah, I just reached
Yeah,
out to Revolution, and we'll see what happens. See what they say. Worst they can say is no, and tell me never to come back.
yeah, you got to get outside of your comfort zone, right? Be willing to do hard things. So, speaking of getting outside of your comfort zone, what was a project that you've taken on that really pushed you outside of that comfort zone with respect to your skill level?
It's a tough one. I would say, I guess you can say this recent one with the food photography, man, just because, the cook was pumping out all these different, um, all these different plates all at once, and was expecting me to, in a not well lit restaurant that's been around since the 50s, to make it look cool. It just, to me, I wasn't, that one kind of got me out of my comfort zone. I did a favor for somebody recently, a wedding, a small wedding, and that, because I'd never done weddings before, that one with just one shooter. Because now I notice sometimes when I've been to numerous weddings over the past year, they have at least 2 or 3 shooters. You know what I mean? Like, and different with different cameras, and their personality is perfect for it. Usually like a younger female, they know what they're doing, or like a very charismatic male. As much as I could be charismatic when I want to be. That was really really hard, especially trying to get some of the pictures that they wanted based on inspirations and stuff like that. It just wasn't for me, and I think I vowed that day I will never do a wedding ever again. To me, that's their special day, and you only have one shot to make that work, and there's a lot of errors. Like if you miss that first kiss, you can't say, hey, can you go back and do that again in front of everybody? So never doing it again.
That your experience with weddings sounds exactly like my experience with weddings.
I'm sure you're a lot better than I was, man.
No, dude, I took it on solo as well. That was a mistake. I did 2 weddings. I did one video only and then one photo only, and both of them were like, "Yo, this is not, this is stressful." The video was better than photo, I will say, just because the photographer that is there, they have the responsibility of getting some of those moments. Obviously I had stuff I wanted to get, but it didn't go well. I had a camera going to thermal shutdown right as the bride was coming down the aisle. Like, total silly kind of thing. So I had to reconstruct this whole thing, trying to figure out how to do it. I ended up making it work, pulled it off, but I was like, at the end of it, I was like, man, I don't need this kind of stress in my life. Like,
Yeah.
this is, it's not my wedding. I was more stressed shooting theirs than I was going to my own wedding. Like, geez.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
dude, I'm telling you, man, it's just not. We were just up in Lake Tahoe for a wedding, and I watched a bride talk to the photographer, like, I want this, I want that, this needs to be like this, I need to, I need it, and oh god, I'm like, man, I don't have the personality for that. I like, that's why I like doing like the tactical stuff. Because all I need to do, all I need to do is just have you just act natural and shoot, and I can work around you in a safe manner and take some really good shots, and not have to worry about whether you're, for like a female, like taking the picture too low versus too high. It's more rugged. I can bring out more details. So that was probably, those 2 were probably my biggest struggle. I'm sure in the future I'll get plenty of other projects that will probably drive me nuts. But again, I'm only, if you're not driving yourself nuts and getting out your comfort zone, like you said, then you're not learning. So
yeah, 100%.
I'm for it.
True. So, speaking of tactical stuff and shooting guns, what has been your relationship with firearms? Did you grow up around guns, or did that come later?
My dad used to carry a .357 Magnum. But he was not a police officer, but he had a fanny pack in the 90s, like everybody else. And he always carried this .357 Magnum, like the Dirty Harry style one. And it was.
Oh yeah.
He had guns all like in a safe, like locked up all over the house. He was a big gun fanatic. But I never shot a gun until I went to the police academy. It's funny, he never took me to the range, or maybe I just never asked, but I always knew about gun safety just based on him, and he, when I was starting the academy, I was like, hey, you want to go to the gun range? He's like, yeah, I don't want to teach you any bad habits. So if you're gonna go into, his top buddies were like, yeah, have them train or have them learn there, because that's gonna be, they have different sets and rules and stuff like that, and it's a lot easier to train. It's much easier to train someone who has no experience and has bad experience. So when I went to the academy in 2012, they had us on the Glocks. I think it was, I can't remember, I think it was 17 they had us on. And we since none of us were hired, we didn't have to bring our agency firearms, so everything was like standard. That was the first time I ever shot. And from here on out, I've taken so many, I must have spent thousands of dollars over the past 12 years taking classes with various instructors just to get better. It's a skill that if you're not working on it, you're going to lose it. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy who loses it in the middle of a gunfight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. What was that first time like? So you get out to the range, first time shooting. Was it exhilarating for you, or you're like, whoa? Like, what was your reaction?
They hype it up in the academy. Like, you start off with dry firing, and then you start off with we had some old FBI guy teach us like the basic fundamentals of the firearm, and then back then it was, it's changed so much where it's like, yeah, just the tip of your finger on the trigger, and then some people are like, no, you can put your full finger on the trigger. It's more in your grip. Like, you gotta, your support, your strong hand is, this, and your support hand is that, and we got such weird advice in the academy, and I remember they really honed on safety. Don't point the gun at something you don't intend to destroy. Finger off the trigger till you're ready to shoot. So I think they scared a lot of people. Like, oh, shit, man, stuff can go wrong. But the first time I was on the line, they started off at the 7-yard line, and I pulled the trigger for the first time, and you're expecting this old school revolver boom that's gonna make the gun fly out of your hands, and you realize, man, it's after the first volley, you're good to go, man. You're just excited. You wanna do more, and now with red dots and all that, it's gotten so much. I wouldn't say easier. You still got the fundamentals, but I feel like over the years I've learned some new, just different tactics from different instructors.
Yeah. What's your everyday carry?
So I have the P365. That's what I just carry off duty, and I said when I retired I wanted to buy a Staccato. That was gonna be my thing, and they came to our PD. We were looking at them, and unfortunately we didn't go with them, but they offered us a really, really good discount. So I got the Staccato C2 just to keep at the house, just to have. Got nice. a really good price. It came with 6 mags, and my from there I was like, you know what, I don't like to. I'm not like my dad who has hundreds of guns in the house. I love firearms. I think they're awesome. However, I'm down to just, I bought back 2 of my department issue guns from the agency. I got a Glock 34 and a Glock 21 to 45 caliber. And those I'm gonna keep forever. I got a Daniel Defense rifle at the house. I got one for work, and then I got my Glock for work. But other than that, I always wanted a Kimber 1911, man. I don't know what it was, dude. I saw that movie in 2003, the movie SWAT with Colin Farrell, and they had I think they had Kimber 1911s. I can't remember,
yep.
But I saw one. I love old school looking things, and I'm like, I want to buy one of those. And haven't pulled the trigger on that one yet, but I got the Staccato, so that's cool enough for me.
Shooters, are you ready? Stand by. That was so bad. I didn't hit the steel at all. That was the worst. You guys don't judge us too harshly. That was we're still warming up. But we are halfway through this week's episode of Guns and Cameras, and that means it's time for us to tell you it's been brought to you by 1156 Productions.
And also, Tokens of Valor. What is Tokens of Valor?
Tokens of Valor is my boutique jewelry company where I take ballistic components like brass and copper, and I combine them with sterling silver to create one-of-a-kind, hand-forged, wearable works of art. If you or someone you know is interested in getting a custom piece made for you, be sure to go to @tokensofvalor on Instagram, send me a DM, and I'll get something started for you. But also, fun fact, I am launching in just a few weeks my own full, complete line of Tokens of Valor product, and there's gonna be a website, so stay tuned for details on that. Other fun fact, you guys, Guns and Cameras has its own official website now. It is gunsandcameras.io. And Evan, what are we super excited about on the website?
We're super excited for the Guns and Cameras Awards. The first ever awards by Guns and Cameras.
That's right. The GCA's 2025 is officially on, my friends. And that means if you are a content creator, influencer, YouTuber, marketer, photographer, sound designer, VFX artist, what have you, if you work in any capacity in creative arts or creative services for the defense industry, 2A industry, outdoor adventure industry, let's just say if your stuff might be censored, canceled, or not allowed to participate in other mainstream marketing award shows, we have a place for you now. It's called the GCA's, or the Guns and Cameras Awards. We will be officially open for submissions September 1st, running through December 31st. It's going to be awesome. For more information, go to gunsandcameras.io, navigate to the nav bar, click on Enter the Guns and Cameras Awards. You will find a complete list of rules and regulations, categories, divisions, awards, the works. So be sure to go check that out. And while you're there, if you would like to visit the brand store for Guns and Cameras, there is a complete line of t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, stickers, slaps, patches, and now also we have a merch store for the GCAs as well, where you can see the super dope new logo. It's pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. So be sure to check those out. And now that all of that's out of the way, Evan, we have had a great time on this episode, season 2, episode 01, with our very special guest, Mr. Kevin Schmertzler,
aka harris.k.s.media.
If you don't follow him already, be sure to go to his Instagram. We'll put it right here. Give him a follow, check out his work, leave a few comments, give him some engagement, because that is super important to all of us. And now we have to get into, obviously, we got to get back to working some drills, because we are super
out of practice.
Super not doing great right now. It's been a couple of weeks, you guys.
Busy.
Yeah. But while we get into continuing to warm up and train, you guys enjoy the second half of season 2, episode 1 of the Guns and Cameras podcast.
Kimber's got some nice, they make a nice 1911, and now they got that, what do they call it? That new, it's double stack 1911. It's pretty sweet looking. I checked it out at SHOT Show. I'm like, if I was going to buy one, I'd probably snag one of those, because they're pretty clean looking firearms. But man, oh man. What are some challenges you're facing right now when it comes to photography, right? And then what are some things that you are still learning or would like to learn as you develop in your craft?
You know what I've been struggling with lately, and I've been taking classes on it. Flash photography. I know it's going to sound really stupid. Some people are probably like, man, it's a lot easier than you think. Flash and working with like studio lighting, because I did have an opportunity to do a clothing line brand many years ago, and they rented out a studio in the Wynwood area, like an artsy area in Miami, and I had no idea what I was doing. I do have a Godex that I kept in the house. I haven't used yet. I have some lighting that I bought, but I would like to get better at using a flash and using like studio lighting, just because I feel like, maybe one day, you never know, maybe I might get into headshots. I've had a couple people say, hey, I need some headshots, and you don't want to screw those up. I mean, these are young people coming out of college that want to get their career, and a good headshot, I believe, really makes a difference, and so my goal in the next 8 years is to open up my own studio, whether I can do product photography there. And of course, I'm going to I'm going to put a bunch of old unit patches and stuff like that around it, and some challenge coins that I've collected over the years. But my goal would be to have like a nice professional studio where I can do anything there. I can do from product, I can do from headshots to portraits, and from there, I am still learning with Flash. I'm taking classes online. YouTube University has been fantastic.
Yeah,
like a
you
dream
got a
come
lot
true.
of resources. Yeah, YouTube's gives a lot of resources for learning how to use lighting these days, which I think is great. My big frustration when I was learning on camera flash, right, was that I I never liked the look you get because it flattens people right out, right? If you have
Oh yeah,
on camera flash directed at somebody, it's like turns them into this like like the blowout and they're flat looking, and I don't like that. But what I did learn with on camera flash from one of the guys I was working under is that you bounce the light, right? So like instead of having the flash direct at the person if it's on camera, you like twist that thing and you bounce it off a wall so it fills
yeah.
in, brings in a key light from the other side. And that helped me a lot with the on camera flash stuff. But then going to like strobes and everything in studio stuff, it's awesome. Once you start getting a handle on it, it's going to change your ability to control your photography, which I think is huge. So, yeah, man, I get it.
That's definitely my goal for this year, and we'll see. We'll see where it takes me, man. Hopefully, I mean, luckily at the range, you can't bring a flash. I don't want to be shooting. Excuse me. I don't want to be putting a flash, especially. I also did CrossFit photography. I did stuff in my old
Mhm.
gym, and I remember saying, I asked the coach, I'm like, hey, do you need me to bring like a flash? He's like, I don't think flashing a flash in people's faces while they're lifting heavy weights is gonna be good. And I was like, yeah, that was a stupid question on my part. But because sometimes lighting is just it's if you want to get really artistic with it, man, lighting is very important, and I haven't mastered that yet. That's on the list for this year as well. I got a big list, so we'll see.
Right on, man. Well, if you need a resource, I'd love to be a resource to you for that. I like just
Absolutely.
about everything these days. So if you have questions about what lights to get, how to do it, let me know. Happy to be a resource for you as
Yeah,
much as I can
please.
be.
Absolutely.
Do you have like do you have a shot? Like, do you have like a white whale shot, something that you're pursuing that is like a certain photo you want to capture but haven't captured yet?
Yeah, we have something coming up with a brand that we're going to do next week. That's something that it's going to be kind of my first time doing it. Is astrophotography mixed with a brand. We got something really cool with some nods coming out. I really can't talk about the brand yet, but that is the goal. We're going to go up to a remote place in Central Florida because South Florida is way too noisy out here with the lights. But we're going to try to get some astrophotography or mix in some astrophotography with this brand concept, and it's going to come out really cool. So that's something that I'm pretty much I want to that's a future oncoming project right there. Hopefully I can share with you guys very, very, very soon.
That's pretty cool. How's the outreach and sales going for your photo business on the side of things? Like, are people word of mouth still? Are you doing outreach? Like, how's that work for you?
There's months where like numerous people are hitting me up and like, hey man, we like you to come out, and there's like I go like a month without somebody reaching out, but I like to say, you know what, actually, at least I've been getting it's slowly but surely. I've been getting a lot of people have been asking for video, a lot of people have been asking for product. I just had somebody reach out in a tactical medical kit that he wants shot, so we're gonna do that. So it's steady where I don't have to work a lot of off-duty details, but I would like for it to be a little bit more. However, there's only so many hours in the day, so many days in the week, and my main job is the law enforcement gig, and I can't. That has to be number one. That's the city depends on me, and so does my bosses and my coworkers. So I got some cool things lined up for this month. So I take it month by month.
That's awesome. Well, here's one of the questions I ask every guest on the podcast. It's the oh shit moment question. We all have them. Could be good, could be bad. It doesn't necessarily have to be photography related in your career, right? But when I ask you, Kevin, what's your oh shit moment? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
My oh shit moment was my first year on the job. We responded to a shoot. It was actually a shift I covered for a friend. My friend was going to a Jason Aldean concert. It was like, hey, can we swap shifts? So I ended up working this Saturday, and usually, believe it or not, Saturdays are pretty chill. I'll never forget. I was at a gas station drinking a White Monster for the first time with my buddy Tom, who I work with, and we both cheers. We're like, hey, to a chill day, which was the stupidest thing we could have ever done. Because then right then and they were like, hey, shots have been fired a block away from us. Back then I wore glasses, and I followed him. We got there right on time. I believe victim was still on the scene, suspect was not, but my glasses fogged up on me. I couldn't see a thing. So I got a firearm drawn at I'm trying to work my way through a crowd that's running towards us, not knowing who the suspect was, and my glasses fog up on me, and I had to throw my glasses on the ground, and eventually we ended up finding out that it was a love triangle gone wrong. Suspect victim was actually taken to the hospital before we got there, believe it or not, by the girlfriend. Suspect turned himself in, but we had no suspect information. Nobody was telling us anything, and I'm walking around blind. That day I booked a LASIK consultation and got LASIK done because I was like, dude, I never want this to happen again. That was the scariest, especially being like, I think I was like a month off of field training, so I'm still on probation. I'm like, God forbid, who knows how there's 1,000 ways that scenario could have went bad. But that was an oh shit moment for me, and that made me realize, it got the jitters out. I'll tell you that. Like it got, like that first, 3 months of FTO, you think you're going to get all these crazy calls. Sometimes you might not get anything, just the nature of the job, and you're working a shift on accident, you end up getting a homicide. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And your glasses fog up, and you look like an idiot. So there you go.
Dude, yeah, you guys that live in the humid climates, man, y'all got challenges.
Yeah.
I was just down in San Antonio shooting a project, and freaking humidity, right? I'm not used to that up from where I'm from, but in my head I was like, we're in an AC controlled building. Cameras are fine, they're ready to rock, and then we open the front door and I walk out to start rolling on this first shoot, and all the lenses go totally fogged up completely. Like the sensor, inside element, outside element, all the filters, all of them have like thick fog, like thick condensation on them. The whole camera's got condensation all over it, and I'm like, crap.
That sounds terrible. Yeah, we get that a lot in Florida, man. Unfortunately, you have to you got to invest in a good cloth, man, because you're gonna get a lot of fog on your lenses with these.
Yeah,
especially
I had to wait. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we got to like 100 degrees last week, man. It's deadly out down here, man.
Gross. No thanks. Y'all can keep that down there.
Yeah. I like your neck of the woods, man.
Yeah, nice and dry, man. Desert, high alpine desert, sort of. Yeah. It's good. I like the dry. I like hot and dry, not hot and sticky and gross.
Yeah.
Worst I ever had it was in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge is not fun. I mean, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Like the thing is, that atmosphere. I've told people this before. That atmosphere gives you what it does to natural light, especially during golden hour, is magical. Right, having that kind of moisture in the air, and what it does to skin tones and stuff, especially if you got guys like SWAT guys running guns and stuff. Love what it does with the greens, the skin tones, the sky. It looks amazing, but you suffer for it. So
I'm sure.
Yeah, but yeah, man, that's awesome. Well, Kevin, what are you looking forward to this year with respect to? I mean, it sounds like you've shared a couple of things already, but what are you looking forward to? What are you stoked about this year? What gets you excited about what's coming up for you?
Well, I did some work with Guild Solutions. That was pretty cool. So we're working on a relationship where if he comes down to South Florida, I'll be his main media guy. I did some stuff with Beware Media as well, which is fantastic, and I'm hoping to work with them again when they come back down. But mainly, I got something coming up, an event on the I believe it's the 21st. I hate that I can't remember the actual name of the event, but it's for human trafficking victims, and it's a bunch of special forces guys that are a part of this amazing event, and they asked me to be their photographer. So again, it's just a huge event about bringing awareness to human trafficking and stuff like that, and I'm pretty excited to see what we're going to do. I unfortunately am not on hand. I don't have any information on it. It will be on my It would be on my my Instagram when it comes up. But it's going to be in Miami. Unfortunately I can't remember for the life of me right now. I love to plug them, but
it's not. Are they connected with the Sentinel Foundation?
They could be. All I know is they're doing something in Miami, and I was asked by a friend of mine. She put me in contact with somebody, and I gave them a very special price. I'm like, listen, what you guys are doing is that's the real heroes right there. I'm not even looking to make money. I just want to come out and get you guys some pictures, and see what you guys are about, and maybe in the future I can help you guys out in other ways, because that's a pretty intense topic. So that's the thing I'm looking forward to. I got some travels that I want to do at the end of the year. Maybe next year go to Japan, but we'll see, man. We'll see where life takes me. Right now I'm just taking it one day at a time. Just something I'm not used to.
That's what's up. You got a few more minutes, or do you want to? We're coming up on an hour. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but you got a little bit of extra time, or?
Yeah, I got a couple more minutes for you.
All right, cool. So what we're going to do really quick is I have your Instagram pulled up here, and I just want to really quickly, one of the things I like doing is just starting at the very bottom of the Instagram and kind of doing a quick rip through and talking a little bit about some of your work. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. It might be kind of hard to see on the mobile, but we'll see if this works. All right. That you?
That's my website right there. And then that is
cool. So
the beginning of times right there.
Yeah, man. This is the very bottom. This is the first photo.
Shit.
What looks like
that's Chicago.
Tell us about this picture.
I took that picture on my cell phone, dude. I actually started out with cell phone, I believe, back then. I brought the Nikon with me, but I was terrified to use it. I wasn't getting the exposure correctly, so I took that. I believe on my cell phone. I edited on Snapseed back then. That's actually my favorite city to visit and do photography is Chicago. Despite crime, whatever, but that is one of my favorite cities to visit, man, is Chicago. And man, I haven't seen these pictures that was Police Week 2016. I took that picture. That was with my cell phone as well. I actually cell phone photography back then was a huge help too, man. That was Key West on a bachelor party. Just saw the red. I got excited seeing the pop-up red.
That's awesome.
But that is way before I got into tactical photography. That's actually me. Somebody took that. Somebody told me that I had to get a picture of myself on there, or no one's gonna trust me as a photographer. That's Griffiths.
Is this LA?
Yeah, that's Los Angeles.
Observatory.
Yeah, I took that on a.
Dude, you are. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, dude.
I was gonna say you're pretty well traveled, man. Looks like you've been like all over just in these first like 6 photos.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I actually did. I bought. So I had a Fujifilm XP, little like underwater camera. That was actually my first camera that I got in 2015. But I didn't know I was using that. I brought that to a trip to California, and I was using that for a little bit. But I haven't touched that in years, man. Seeing some of these are not as bad as I thought they were.
Right.
It's
nice to go. I like doing this with people because it's like one of the good things about Instagram, I think, especially if you've been doing it for a while, is that you have like a running timeline of your skill level improvement over the years, right?
Yeah.
Like you can see, even if you just like whip through your feed real quick, you can just see the progression in skill, changes in color, like where your influences start to come in, right? Like I can almost guarantee you, we got you're gonna see where the Peter McKinnon influence starts to come in.
Oh yeah. That's actually your neck of the woods right there. That's I think.
I know that. I was gonna say I know that bridge. I've been on that bridge many times.
Yeah, and the one before that's Seattle. That was on top of the Needle.
Yep.
Beautiful city, man. I can't remember where that might be Boston if I'm correct.
Looks like Philly cheesesteak.
Oh,
Philadelphia.
Yes. Yeah, Philadelphia. Yes, we ended up going. My brother and I went there for a race. And that's the Hoover Dam.
Las Vegas. Dude,
saw Blink-182 there.
Yep, I'm gonna start kind of scrolling up through some of these here. So where?
Yeah, go for it.
Where in any of these did you start using the Nikon at?
Keep going up. Yeah, because these are all still. This is when I first started with the Instagram, so I was probably just going through my old camera thing. Keep going up, go up, go all the way
London,
up.
Dude, you travel a lot, man. You're all over.
Yeah, I lucked out over the years, man. Where was the Nikon? It's none of these. I can tell you that. These were all old stuff that I found on my. This is where I was learning my editing process, where I was still learning Snapseed. Right up where that little the beach area was in Maine. That was on my Nikon, I believe.
Like this one?
Yeah, that's that was. I believe that was my Nikon. That was Bar Harbor National Park, I believe.
Cool.
And then actually the picture next to it I got in trouble for, the one with the tent, because apparently
This one?
I tagged Bar Harbor National Park, and they're like, hey, was that you? That was they messaged me, hey, is that you that was camping on that? That's against the law. You might want to take that down. And I thought I took it down, but it wasn't even mine. I saw it, and again the blue caught my eye, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a picture of this. And I really wanted to enhance the blue, and then I got really excited, and I tagged them, and I saw a message from them. I'm like, oh, maybe they'll put it on their Instagram. No, they were like, hey, you might want to take that down. People are not supposed to be camping on this land. I'm like, well, sorry.
Well, the joke's on them, because that's just like a sunshade. It doesn't even look like a real tent. I think it's like
exactly
a beach thing, so it's like...
Yeah. I think this area right here is when I started, I believe, the one... that one my brother took of me. And I just started, I was editing with a lot of different things back then.
Yep.
Very
cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's cool to see some of these too, man. I haven't seen some of these in a couple years.
Yeah, man. A lot of travel stuff, right? I can see why like you like the street photography, because it's already, like that's definitely street photography right there, right?
Yeah, that was with my Olympus, and that was in Miami Beach. I remember the buddy of mine who I went there with. That was when I first learned how to focus on your subject, which it looks like mine was the
right here. Railing. No, it's cool. And you got some leading lines happening here and some texture. Right.
It's funny. It's all like by accident too. Like you think. Now I put so much thought into it. Back then I was just pulling the trigger.
Right.
So, and a lot of these are just messing around with Snapseed, trying to learn the different functions. I was using my dog Lola over there, my English Bulldog, as a as a model for years. To this day, she's like, "Can you just get the camera out of my damn face?" Like it's not even.
She's very photogenic with this. This is dope.
Yeah, I got that. I was on a walk, and I saw that by my house, and I think it was Friday the 13th. And I'm like, dude, that looks very Jason Voorhees. Like if I was Jason Voorhees, I'd hang out in there waiting for a victim, I guess. But
yeah.
Couldn't find him. So.
Yeah, thick rain, love it. Yeah, now we're getting a little bit more artistic here with where your frames are at, right? The angles you're picking, like got some architecture.
That's where I learned to look up. I did a class with Trash Hand online on, I think it was Skillshare, Skillset, and he's like, you got to look up. And I do that in every city I'm at. I'll I'll find a place to just grab random people, walking around. Maybe I see somebody with a really cool coat, tattoo, whatever it is, get a nice picture, and then I'll look up at the architecture. But
yeah.
But a lot of these are cell phone stuff, and this is where I learned my my rule of thirds.
Yep. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, that's the lens. So actually back there, that's one of my aunt's pictures of a leopard that she did. That's kind of like an inspiration, and she sent me that lens. That was a gift for Christmas. Her 70 to 200. Is it a 70 to 200?
80 to 200.
80 to 200.
Nikon has to be different than everybody else.
Yeah, I know. I got a 70 to 180 camera on now that I use, and it's just as good, maybe even better. But she gave me that, and yeah, that lens was a game changer.
Oh, I know where this is. Been here many times. Multnomah.
Yeah, that's Oregon, right?
Yep.
Remember? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Oregon was great. We did my buddy and I did Vancouver, Oregon, and Washington all in one trip, and they were actually filming Deadpool 2 in Vancouver when we were up there. Man, that was that book right there you see, Uncommon Grit. That guy, that was a Navy SEAL who goes back to buds years later to photograph buds, and that book, I ended up photographing our SWAT school, and I used very similar visual aids with that one, but I actually created a book out of it. Never sold it, just something like created on Blurb. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to, I think one of the SWAT guys bought it off me, but that book was a huge inspiration to me, man. That guy, if you ever get that book or get a chance to open that book, some really cool, like you can tell the pain on these kids' faces throughout the 6 months of hell that they're going through.
Dang.
Really cool.
I'm about to check it out. And then look at this. Here we got Pete's Pirate's Life.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying back then.
Right. And then we got some coffee. And then I think I can start to see the Peter McKinnon, like some of the orange and blacks, heavy blacks.
Yeah, that's where I learned his dark,
colors.
moody.
Yep.
You definitely can't. Yeah, you can't replicate him. There's only one Peter McKinnon. There's only going to be one Peter McKinnon. But I generally like my style. Actually, that's the first picture right there. You see the one where the guys go up to go up, and then you're going to see in the middle, next to that was the first picture. That was the picture I was telling you where I felt like I got a little bit of motion blur on him, or I made it look like he was moving. Yeah. That was with the Nikon, and that is where, I started, I was like, you know what, I can kind of do what these moody photographers do, but I can maybe do it in the the tactical world. What better? But yeah, that was that class. That's Matt Casey right there. That was that class that we were doing it, and that's how yeah, that's him right there. That's the man, the myth, the legend right there.
Awesome.
That's the guy. Him and Ruben Alvarez from Paradox Training, which I have plenty of. Those two are who got me into this, and to this day I tell them every now and then how much sometimes I don't even charge them when I go out there. I'm like, it's hard to charge you guys. You guys are the reason why I'm here.
Right. And
got me into some really cool places. That was my first logo, the one with I made it on my buddy Jake Childress, who I work with. He's one of our SWAT guys. Made me that logo when I was just K.S. Harris Photography. Based, cool. He did it on Canva. That was something we did. I made a little bit of stickers off that one, and I'm sure there's some local breweries in South Florida that have that sticker in their bathroom somewhere.
That's what's up. Love it.
Yeah, that's Chicago area, man. That's
one of the things that I've noticed that's been really consistent in a lot of your edits is the use of grain. You bring in a lot of grain. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, I did that in the beginning, where I was hitting the grain. I like I like really old school looking stuff, man. I feel like I'm stuck in like the 40s or 50s or something. And I just wanted something with I like the grain style. I don't really use it as much anymore. Some of the low light stuff brings it out on by itself.
Did you get into some actual
No,
film photography?
no. I bought one. Never got into it. I got, again, another Peter McKinnon thing. I got into. I wanted to get I wanted to have my studio have a bunch of like old retro cameras, so I started collecting them. Yeah, this is still Nikon right here. It doesn't get to Sony until like 2023, I think, is when I went to Norway. So this is still.
We had a really big change though. Speaking about grain, because I feel like it's grain, and then all of a sudden very little.
Yeah, I somebody, I don't know what it was, man. Like I just stopped punching it out in Lightroom. You know, I just figured, you know what?
Yeah.
But there's some places where, this guy's a legend. That's Tony Sabanot. And that's the guy behind him that's a Back to the Future shirt. That's Ruben Alvarez. He has a company called Paradox Training. He's somebody that he's on the SWAT team of one of our local agencies, and he teaches an EQC class where I love coming out and taking pictures there, man. He gets some really cool stuff and really cool. His students are really locked on. The New York 2022, and then
we're gonna fast forward here in a second, just because we got a lot, but we can see like your eyes starting to develop a lot more, right? Just the way you're framing stuff up, the way you're selecting subjects, the compositions you're building. We got some.
That's where the CrossFit comes in.
Here. Yep. Heavy blacks, really low exposure on some of these here, which is cool.
Yeah, I try to not do that as much as I used to, because a lot of the people they want it. They're like, it's too dark. Like some of the tackle companies, like, we need to see ourselves a little bit more. But
I'm gonna fast forward here.
Yeah, of course.
We're going up.
Yeah, that's all. This is all the Sony right here, man. This is just
I'm gonna try to get up to some of the more recent stuff here, but
I post every day, so just kind of
dude, it's amazing. Again, I love to see just how far people come, like in their Instagram feeds. It's just a good reminder, especially again, just like, dude, like you've come a long ways, man. Like your work looks great. Like going from where you started to where you're at now, like you're on.
Means a lot, dude.
You're on the road, man.
It means more than you know, man. So I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, I know I've been following you for a while, and it's been fun just seeing the work that you do. And yeah, man, stoked to see what you start working on next, because you got some good stuff in here. I think that you're just gonna keep crushing, man.
I hope so, man. I appreciate it, dude. Again, all my inspiration comes from all you guys, man. I look at everybody's work and I see what everybody else is doing, and I try to do a little bit of my own stuff. But again, a lot of this stuff is just trial and error, and being fortunate that these guys at my job allow me to take pictures of them. You know what I mean? And some of the other agencies that allow me to come out there, and some brands that send me some stuff. So again, it's all a really cool journey, man. And I'm looking forward to what happens next.
Dude, yeah. Well, good job. The work looks great. You're doing great work. I'm sure that there's going to be nothing but awesome stuff heading your way.
Appreciate that.
Kevin, as we wrap this up, is there any advice, if you could go back and give any kind of encouragement to yourself just starting out all those years ago, what would you say?
I would just say take on more projects. It's like the movie in 2009, The Yes Man with Jim Carrey. Just I'm not saying be a yes man. I'm just saying just say yes to opportunities. You know, like if don't be afraid to travel. Don't be afraid to drive out somewhere. This world is really, really, really beautiful just to see. Even in the United States, there's so many cool things to see with your camera, and people want to see it than you think. You know, a lot more people want to see things through your eyes than you think. And I think don't take the picture, edit it the way you want, and just publish it. Don't. The internet is not as mean and scary as you think it is. People are very encouraging, and nice people such as yourself. I mean, who are doing this and bringing out other artists, and that's really cool. You're focusing on other people, and I love that. So that would be my advice. Just do it.
That's awesome. Great advice, guys. Kevin, what if somebody wants to work with you or get a hold of you or hire you for some photos? What is the best way that they can get your attention?
Right now, just because Instagram's kind of wonky sometimes, but my website, harris-k.s.media.com, and that has all my contacts on it. It has a quick link to my Instagram, and I'm in the South Florida area, so I'm willing to travel. I'm not afraid to travel. I got a lot of points on my card, so I'm definitely not afraid to travel. I got some time I can take off, and so whoever wants to work with me, please, I welcome everybody. As long as it's not weird.
You guys, you heard the man. If you want to work with Kevin, which if you're in the South Florida area for sure, and you're a brand that needs some top-notch photography, be sure to reach out to Kevin because he's crushing it right now. You guys, if you don't already follow Kevin, be sure to go to Instagram right now. Go to harris.k.s.media. Give him a follow. Check out his work. Give him some engagement because we all need the comments. We need the likes. We need the shares. We need that, especially if we're working in any kind of defense industry capacity when it comes to content, because organic growth is just not something that we get to benefit from. So if you want to go check out Kevin's stuff, give him some love, help him to grow, give him some encouragement for sure. Please do that. Kevin, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I appreciate you. Thank you for working in law enforcement. We appreciate what you guys do. I feel bad. I try to tell our officers up here in the Northwest as much as I can that we appreciate them, but you're in a good spot in Florida, it sounds like. So thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Stay safe down there, man. Look out for the crazies. I'm sure you got your fair share, but yeah.
Well, I do.
Yeah, you guys, this has been Guns and Cameras. Thanks for hanging out. Stay tuned. We got a lot of more great guests coming, a lot of great content in the works. So, be sure to stick around. Have a great night, guys.
So, that was a pretty great episode.
Yeah. Kevin's awesome.
Yeah, we have some just wicked talent in this industry.
Yep. Yeah, wicked talent.
Bro, I'm stoked to have you as co-host.
Me too. So, what now?
Well, this is usually where I tell the folks watching this to stay safe, stay sane, and to have a great day. So have a great day.